I consider myself a big fan of tactical shooters. I started on Hell Let Loose, branched out to Squad, and then to Squad 44. I actually really enjoyed Squad prior to the infantry combat overhaul, but since then I've tried time and time again to return over the years, and every time I've met with the same issues. I genuinely think it's the least fun tactical shooter out there. Now let me explain. The number one issue with Squad is the logistics and spawn system. To build a team-wide spawn, aka a FOB, you need 3 different things. A squad lead, a soldier or soldiers with a shovel, and supplies from a vehicle. This sounds simple, but in reality is extremely difficult to achieve. First, you need to transport supplies to wherever you want to drop a FOB construction site. Then you need to drop a radio. Then you need another soldier to build that FOB up for you. Now here's the issues. You as a squad leader cannot build the FOB. The supply vehicle that you bring does not respawn on a timer. If your team has abandoned all supply vehicles on the map somewhere, which is extremely common, they will never respawn back at HQ. You have to either venture out to collect one, or wait for the enemy to blow it up, or blow it up yourself and wait for it to respawn. This alone could take 1/4 of the entire game, as many supply vehicles left out on the map are camped by the enemy team. Then, once you build a FOB, you will quickly learn that enemy teams do not want to destroy your spawns like other tactical shooters. They simply need to camp the spawns to win. That is because tickets in Squad are tied to deaths as well as capture points. Teams are more likely to stop pushing capture points and simply farm enemy spawns to win games. The system overall is far too difficult to be done quickly, and it results in 95+% of games ending because the one FOB your team built at the start of the game gets destroyed and no one spends the time to build a follow-up FOB. The entire logistics system in Squad needs a full rework to make building team spawns easier. The second Squad issue is vehicle spam. Ever since the ICO, vehicles have become outrageously overpowered. Most squads do not even have AT players, and you regularly see people finishing games with 40 or 50 kills because they were never once destroyed in an LAV or tank. Most FOB camping is done in vehicles, simply circling the spawn point and shooting inside as people die. Vehicles are too fast, take way too much damage, and respawn too fast as well. Increased weapon sway on AT weapons also makes hitting vehicles far less likely. The third issue with Squad is the unrestricted, oversized maps. Squad maps are absolutely huge, with miles of space nowhere near any objective points. Now, this would normally be good for tactical shooters because it allows for flanking and maneuvering around points. But with the extremely slow sprint speed, lack of overall team spawns, and extremely fast vehicles, infantry cannot successfully flank points on foot without an LAV rolling through the squad far off of point to decimate them in one foul swoop. Enemy vehicles are far too easily capable of countering flanking squads based on how fast vehicles already are. On top of that, there are no restrictions on where you can go on the map at any given time. That allows for vehicles to simply drive all the way to your main spawn and camp your one and only spawn, possibly. FOBs can also be built behind enemy lines, and squads can camp points before they're even capable. They need to shrink down the play area to close to the 2 active objectives to incentivize pushing on point. Squad 44 did this extremely successfully, which is the same people who also make Squad. Fourth problem with Squad is the oversized, bloated infantry squads. Having 9 people per squad allows for only 3 to 4 total squads per team. That allows 4 squad leaders to have control over the entire team's success and failure. It also lowers the rate of rally points on the map, which then lowers the overall spawn capacity of your team. In the same vein, there are far too many redundant squad roles. There are up to 3 different automatic rifleman-style classes, 2 long-range ballistic classes, 3 anti-tank style classes, and tons of weapon overlap. On top of having certain classes locked based on how many people are in your squad. This further limits your ability to have beneficial roles on the battlefield. They need to cut down the squad size and merge multiple squad kits. The final issue with squad is losing tickets on deaths. 99% of every game in squad ends due to one team running out of tickets instead of pushing through every objective on the map. Most teams push to capture the first point and turtle there for the rest of the game. They know they have superior map placement and are content to let the enemy team throw all of their tickets away trying to push the first point. It completely discourages objective play and encourages players not to respawn. That does not happen. Players respawn immediately all the time in all tactical shooters, irrelevant of the cost. And teams can lose massive ticket numbers in very short periods of time because everyone's trying to push the one and only point in the middle of the game. Now, this is just a short list of all the reasons Squad is the least fun tactical shooter out there, and there are many, many more. If you want a part 2 to this video, like it below, and I will make a follow-up, or perhaps even provide my thoughts on how Squad can be a more fun and accessible game to the tactical shooter community.